So what made you sought after this fight with Canelo?
Canelo's a great fighter. You know, he's respected. I'm a fan of Canelo. And like I said before, Canelo is the last of the great fighters that's available to fight. Canelo's at 168. It's a big task, but I'm always up for it. Big risk, big reward. And I want to be the first ever boxer to be a three-weight undisputed world champion.
Talk to me about like the business of this fight, because it's live on Netflix. This is your first time fighting on Netflix.
Right.
How does this fight come together as opposed to like typical fights that you've had in the past?
Well, it's all the same. You know, at the end of the day, you got the promotion, you got the network coming out, and they shooting you, and they promoting the fight. It's just, you know, on a different network.
This is the best fight in boxing, bar none. You know, we've got two of the best fighters in the world, and Terence Crawford trying to do what no other's done before, a four division world champion. And, you know, jumping up from light middleweight now to super middle, trying to achieve the unachievable against Canelo Alvarez, who is pound for pound. Can he do it? I think he can. I think that this guy creates history, and Terence Crawford is that.
Spencer Oliver issued a warning to Canelo, saying this could be the toughest challenge of his entire career. In his eyes, Terence Crawford isn't just fighting for victory. He's chasing history. He's stepping into dangerous ground, where fighters are either made into legends or broken in the attempt. Even promoter Eddie Hearn, who originally leaned toward Canelo, has started to shift in Crawford's favor. Hearn admitted, if Terence Crawford decides to box elusively in this fight, I think he's going to have real success. Coming from a veteran promoter like Hearn, that statement is telling. If he sees Canelo struggling against Crawford's slick, elusive style, then it's more than just hype, it's a serious warning. Crawford has the ability to make this fight a nightmare, forcing Canelo to chase shadows round after round. That change in tone from someone who first backed Canelo speaks volumes. It signals that the once unthinkable may be edging closer to reality. To Hearn, this matchup isn't just another big fight. It's two legends colliding at the twilight of their careers. And while he praised the spectacle, he quickly turned the spotlight to one critical factor: the weight.
It's a great fight. I mean, it's two guys that are coming towards the back end of their careers, but two legends, pound for pound legends of the sport. A fascinating fight between two guys with tremendous ring IQ. I guess the big conversation is how the weight will affect Bud and how he will respond to the size. You know, we got a situation where in Los Angeles, Crawford didn't look that big against the 154. In fact, I thought Madrimov looked the bigger, the stronger guy in that fight. I thought it was a very, very close fight, that fight. Now you're going up two divisions at 168 for Canelo Alvarez, who is, a pound for pound legend of the sport. Against Skull, he didn't look great. The movement didn't look great. I didn't think his legs looked fantastic.
Hearn reminded everyone that Crawford didn't even look particularly big at 154. And now he's leaping all the way up to 168 to face one of boxing's strongest champions. That kind of physical jump, Hearn said, is the ultimate test of Crawford's limits. But at the same time, he admitted that Crawford has always been the kind of fighter who defies logic. This fight will answer one of the biggest questions in boxing. Can pure skill truly overcome sheer size? Hearn then pointed to what he believes is the real danger: how Crawford will handle those punches once they start landing at super middleweight. That, he said, is the true million-dollar factor in this fight.
When he gets hit, that's really the million-dollar question. How can he hang at 168? When you spend time with both of them, they're both so confident, you actually can't see him losing. Bud talks a brilliant game, and he's walked the walk continuously. And he has probably the best boxing IQ in the game. I probably, and Canelo's my guy, but I probably lean slightly. I think the Canelo will be a favourite going in, but it wouldn't surprise me at all if Crawford.
From Hearn's perspective, both men are brimming with confidence, making it nearly impossible to imagine either one leaving the ring in defeat. Still, he leaned slightly toward Crawford, praising Bud's unmatched ring IQ and ability to adapt to any style. Even as someone who has long admired Canelo, Hearn admitted the scales now tip just a little in Crawford's favor, a rare admission that shows just how much respect Bud has earned. He also acknowledged what most fans already sense: Canelo will enter as the favorite. But Hearn didn't stop there.
It'll be really interesting. I think Bivol really did set the blueprint of how to beat Canelo Alvarez. You know, what you do is you're slick, but you throw punches in bunches, you move into range, bomb, 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 out of range. You do it again, because Canelo's not that active. He doesn't throw a lot of punches. And he hates movement, hates it. Crawford's got, Crawford, to be honest, Crawford's got to probably make it a little bit of a stinker.
In the same breath, Hearn admitted that an upset wouldn't shock him at all. Crawford has already shown that odds and labels don't define him once the bell rings. For Hearn, this fight isn't about who the favorite is. It's about whether Crawford can take belief and turn it into reality, flipping the boxing world on its head. He even pointed back to the fight that still shadows Canelo's career, the loss to Dimitri Bivol. To Hearn, that night provided the very blueprint Crawford could use to pull off the unthinkable.
You've just got to go in there and just win rounds. And I think Crawford will win rounds in those fights.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Especially the early rounds. So Canelo may have to do something and try and, because he's not that active. I don't think he really wants to work that much.
According to Hearn, Bivol exposed Canelo with slick movement, sharp volume punching, and a steady rhythm. And that's the exact style Crawford has perfected. If he forces Canelo to chase, he dictates the fight. Hearn's warning was clear. Unless Canelo has truly evolved since that loss, Crawford could walk him straight into the same trap. He also stressed the importance of the early rounds. In Hearn's view, Crawford is built to seize control right from the start, and if he does, it could set the tone for the entire fight.
Crawford is a smaller fighter, but the more this fight goes, it's more 50-50, and more people are starting to respect this man because he's been posting social media. He looks bigger. He looks like a muscular fighter, not like an out-of-shape lightweight or welterweight coming up in weight. He looks like a legitimate, muscular, middleweight type fighter. I love the fact that he's actually marketing himself, getting great sparring, the running, the videos, and just he looks like a beast, man. So I love everything he's doing to promote this fight and to show everyone I'm not the smaller man here. It's going to be an equal-sized fight when it comes to physicality.
Hearn believes Crawford's sharpness and high tempo will allow him to bank rounds before Canelo can fully settle in. And once a fighter like Canelo is forced to play catch-up, the pressure builds quickly. Hearn warned that if Bud jumps out to an early lead, Canelo could end up fighting not just his opponent, but also the clock and momentum. In his view, the opening rounds may end up writing the story of the entire fight. American boxer Sergio Mora also shared his take, highlighting how Crawford's physical transformation is shifting the entire narrative. He emphasized that in boxing, appearances can be just as impactful as skills inside the ring.
It can, but he's an athletic fighter. I mean, he has a wrestling background. I think he put on the right muscle. He's not soft in the midsection. Mm-hmm. You could tell that he still carries that muscle right. It's like whenever you do go up in weight and you see the muscle around the shoulders and the biceps and the back, that's when you're like, wow, okay, this is impressive. You see him deadlifting. He's a strong fighter, and he did it the right way. Just like Roy Jones Jr. when he went to heavyweight. He didn't look heavy. He looked just as muscular, only he did it, the muscle were in the right proportion places. I think Bud looks the exact same way.
Mora pointed out how Crawford has silenced the doubters by looking every bit like a natural middleweight. From training clips to sparring footage to his sheer physique, the message is clear. Crawford isn't coming in as the smaller man. That shift in perception has fans believing the fight is now on equal terms. In Mora's eyes, both Crawford's body and mindset already look battle-ready, making this showdown even tougher to predict. He doubled down on his praise, this time focusing on the athletic side of Crawford's transformation. Mora stressed that the added size isn't just cosmetic, it's functional, it's powerful, and it's built for performance.
Looks physically spectacular. He clearly has put on the weight in the right way. And this is not the case of a guy having a couple of months to get up to 168 pounds. He has basically been preparing for this moment for the better part of a year. Like, he knew that it was Canelo Alvarez or bust. So he's going to come in I think looking strong.
Mora noted that Crawford's added muscle looks natural, balanced, and built for fighting. From his shoulders to his back, every part of his frame now screams strength. He even compared the transformation to Roy Jones Jr.'s legendary move up in weight, saying Crawford mirrors that same flawless transition. That comparison puts Bud in elite company and raises the stakes for what's ahead. Chris Mannix also weighed in, pointing out that Crawford's preparation hasn't been rushed or reckless. Instead, every step has been carefully mapped out as part of a bigger plan, one designed with a single target in mind: Canelo Alvarez.
I've always said it. I think that he lives with any welterweight. His best weight really has been at welterweight. He lives with any welterweight in any division for me, and that's including all the greats. You know, you're going back to your Roberto Durans, Sugar Ray Leonards, all those guys. I think that he is that good, and we find out in September. It's going to be a fantastic.
Mannix stressed that Crawford's physique looks the part because this move up wasn't a last-minute decision. It was a year-long mission. Every run, every lift, every training camp has been geared toward handling the size and power at 168. That level of commitment shows Crawford isn't just coming in to test himself. He's coming in to win. And when preparation meets ambition, history is often written. Spencer Oliver also reminded fans just how special Crawford is at welterweight. In his view, Bud doesn't just belong in the division. He stands among the all-time greats.
In the belief that Crawford will beat Alvarez. And I'd like to see him beat Alvarez, quite frankly.
I mean, a joint 70 knockouts in their careers.
They're incredible.
Is this going to go the distance?
Insanely, I think it will. I think because they're both technically that good and they're both very durable. That's how they become the superstars of the sport of today. You know, they both can take a shot. They both mix it up. They'll both sit in the pocket. You're going to have excitement for sure because they will both go for it. They're both spiteful, very heavy-handed, but I think they both hear the final.
Oliver placed Crawford's name alongside legends like Roberto Duran and Sugar Ray Leonard, saying his skill set holds up in any era. That kind of comparison is rare and powerful, showing just how much respect Crawford commands. September isn't just another fight. It's a proving ground for where Crawford belongs in boxing history. Oliver's words make it clear. This is greatness being tested at the highest level, and the outcome could redefine where Crawford stands in the conversation of boxing immortality. He then shifted focus to the fight itself, predicting the kind of war fans can expect. In his eyes, both men are simply too good to fold.
Just think that Crawford's extra boxing IQ and the fact that he's moved up them weight divisions, who Canelo moved up from welterweight as well. He's gone through the weights as well. See, when you look at them sizing up now, Crawford actually looks bigger than him right now. But Canelo's developed as a super middleweight. He's accustomed to being super middleweight now, whereas Crawford isn't. But I think that extra movement will be enough for Crawford, and I think he will be able to sit in the pocket when he has to against Alvarez. But be sure, this one will be a barnstormer for sure.
Oliver highlighted the toughness, power, and sheer grit of both fighters, saying that combination guarantees fireworks from the opening bell. Neither man has a history of backing down, and that's exactly what makes this matchup so explosive. For Oliver, the question isn't if there will be drama, it's how long both can endure it. His prediction was clear. This fight isn't ending early. It's built to go the distance. And by the final bell, fans will have witnessed a modern classic. He broke down the ultimate chess match of the night: Crawford's intelligence versus Canelo's natural size and strength.
The fascinating thing is that the difficulty that most people would put to Terence Crawford is the size element of things. But I think if he's going to fight Sal Alvarez, it's the right time to fight him now, because we're seeing elements of decline in Alvarez. Okay, the dance partners who's been forced to fight against William Skull didn't come to fight, did they?
No.
But Crawford, it'll be interesting to see how their styles gel and how the fight proceeds. But having watched Crawford like you have done, from the moment he landed on these shores to deal with Ricky Burns all those years ago, to the manner in which he dismantled Errol Spence and stepping up the weight classes, I'm in Spencer's camp. We're both in the same position, aligned, foolishly together perhaps, in the belief that Crawford will beat Alvarez.
Oliver admitted that Canelo is the seasoned super middleweight, already comfortable at the weight. But he also pointed to Crawford's movement, adaptability, and his ability to fight inside when necessary. For Oliver, that extra layer of ring IQ could be the edge that tilts the fight in Bud's favor. He described it as a clash where brains and precision collide with brute force. And with both men built to entertain, Oliver believes fans are about to witness a barn burner that will define their careers. This could be the fight that cements Crawford's genius or reaffirms Canelo's dominance. Then Simon Jordan weighed in with a bold take. He admitted that the biggest concern fans raise about Crawford, his size, may not be the deciding factor at all. In fact, he argued that this is the perfect moment for Bud to face Canelo.
Canelo Alvarez take that journey up to light heavy and find himself coming up against Dimitri Bivol and not being able to do what he does at super middleweight. I just think that Crawford is such a fighter of such stature and competence that he might just be the kryptonite to Soul.
Jordan pointed out that the first real signs of decline are beginning to show in Canelo, and that makes this the perfect window for Crawford to strike. He reminded fans of Crawford's journey, how he crossed the Atlantic to take Ricky Burns' belt, and years later dismantled Errol Spence in brutal fashion. That climb through the divisions has built a fighter ready to take on the impossible. Jordan sided with Spencer Oliver, saying with conviction, not just analysis, that Crawford truly has what it takes to beat Canelo. To drive the point home, he turned to history, recalling the night Canelo was exposed by Dimitri Bivol at light heavyweight. That fight, Jordan said, proved even the greatest champions can be cracked.
I was watching them in a press conference and I seen Canelo saying, name me one elite fighter you've beaten. He kept saying, just one elite fighter. As everyone forgot about the Errol Spence win. Because for me, the Errol Spence win was an elite win.
Yeah.
Errol Spence was reigning and dominant in the welterweight division, was beating everybody. And he went in there and beat Errol Spence up. So there's the first elite win that he's got. And if you look at these two fighters, there isn't that much size difference. Okay, the weight will be a bit different, but these fighters have been going through weight divisions quite similar.
Yeah,
you know,
down,
Canelo started at 10 stone, goes to from light welterweight to welterweight to light middleweight. We've all seen the rise of Canelo. People are making out like Canelo is a fully fledged light heavyweight or a fully fledged super middleweight.
He's been up and down.
This guy has been through.
For Jordan, that memory still looms large over this fight. He sees Crawford as the kind of fighter whose brilliance, composure, and skill could expose Canelo in the same way Bivol did. In his eyes, Bud is the kryptonite capable of stripping away Canelo's aura of invincibility. That's why Jordan believes this showdown isn't just about belts, it's about legacy. And if he's right, boxing could be on the verge of its next seismic shock. Tony Bellew didn't hesitate to add his own take on Canelo versus Crawford. For him, there's only one winner, and it's not even close. With conviction, Bellew declared, I still think Crawford wins, and I still think he wins handily. This wasn't a casual prediction. It was a firm statement. He sees Crawford's skill set as simply too much for Canelo to handle. Where others focus on size and power, Bellew points to ring IQ, timing, and adaptability. His confidence adds another powerful voice leaning toward Crawford. And when seasoned fighters speak with such certainty, fans take notice. Bellew also pushed back against Canelo's dismissal of Crawford's resume, especially when it comes to elite opponents. He reminded everyone of one defining victory that silenced all doubt.